We pay our respects to the First Nations people of Canberra, the Ngunnawal people, their ancestors past, their elders present and future. Political leaders of this country, we also acknowledge Her Royal Highness Princess Latukefu, the Tongan High Commissioner here in Australia. Leaders of other Pacific Islander nations and communities here, leaders of the Tongan community here and worldwide. And to all of you watching this Lu'isa University Multimedia program this Tuesday afternoon, 9th of August 2022 from Canberra, Australia. Welcome all to the Women in Dialogue program. I am here with Lu'isa Latukefu, who is the facilitator of this program, and I will hand over this program to her to introduce to you our first topic. My name is Lu'isa Latukefu. Thank you.
Thank you, Luciane, for that beautiful introduction to our Women in Dialogue for this month.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll be doing it once a month from now on. Yeah, because there's so many other interesting speakers that come on to our program, our program. So I think we're quite lucky that we still have a spot in our program. So yeah, I am Lu'isa Latukefu, and really happy to be with you on this beautiful day in Canberra, Australia. And it's nice to be back with you, at Mananga here,
Absolutely.
in Canberra. So today, Luciane, I thought we might sort of just remind our listeners and our if we've got people watching out there worldwide or even locally, I think it's always important to sort of remind them about medications, especially prescribed medications. You think?
Absolutely, Lu'isa, because especially people of our age, a lot of us are on medications, different medications, and some of us have been for a while. But I think it's a really important topic, Lu'isa, because sometimes we sort of don't pay enough attention to what we're taking or how we're taking it.
Yeah, that's
nice
right.
topic, yes.
That's right. And also, but we've got a particular medication very close to our heart.
Yes.
But I thought before we get on and talk about Metformin, which is what we're going to be talking a little bit more in detail today. But first, I think it is, as you say, Luciana, it's very important to sort of remind people out there about the most important things that they have to remember, when they are on prescribed medications or even medications off, on the counter, and complementary stuff that they take, which is really important. And also what they've been saying lately is that so many people have been, admitted to hospital and, other health places are usually people who sort of misuse their medications, or they've taken the wrong one, or they've been taking the same ones for many years and not have the usual the regular test which they do regularly to make sure that, because the doctors they prescribe your medications, but it's our responsibility to sort of make sure that we follow, the instructions that they give us. And that we monitor those things ourselves.
Yes, it's a little bit difficult, Lu'isa, eh? for us to monitor ourselves, the medication, because, I mean, you know, you're a professional, and I worked in the field for a few years, but, you know, that to say to us, I wonder, because I know we used to support people to look after their medication. Sometimes I forget to even monitor
That's right.
myself, you know, so I'm glad you brought that up for us to talk about.
And that's one of the things we're going to go over, Luciana, you know, just to help. But, you know, like I said, what they've been saying in the health professional field lately is that there's so many people who've been admitted to hospital because they've been using, you know, the wrong medications and not really following exactly what thing. Because one of the recommendations to reduce medications errors and harm just to use the 5 rights of medications, because they do have, you know, it's like, and it's for us, the consumers, as well as the people like the doctors and the other health professionals, the pharmacists, you know, that they have to, they've got 5 most important recommendations.
Right.
And that you have the right patient. Because sometimes when you're waiting there at the pharmacist, you know, they sing out the names, and and you see other people there. As soon as they sing out their name, they just go up and pick it up and walk, you know, out to pay. Whereas I always make sure that you pick it up and make sure it's your medications that they're giving you. So it's about...
They have to call out a bit loudly, because sometimes they say, because they can't really say my name properly, so they say, Lu'isa Latukefu, and I'm thinking, and then it's like, oh, that's me.
Yes. Well, now we're getting that way. So it's the right patient, and that it's the right drug that you're waiting for, because you know how you go in, put in your prescriptions, you know, on one end of the pharmacies, you know, and usually the young girls there, like, I think they seem pretty good. I haven't had any much problems with them, but it's good to always
happen,
it does. When you see the elderly people,
true,
and then you see some elderly people, they're there with their grandkids, you know, and you can understand why.
And also too, sometimes they'll use the generic brands, you know,
that's
the chemist, and you get to think, what is this? Because sometimes my doctor will say, now tell them this is what I prescribed, not to give you any other brand, and then you're sure of what you're getting.
Because they do ask you, do you want a generic or do you just want? And because, you know, you can see that some people, instead of saying, so what's the difference? You know, that they sort of say, but as you say, we stick to the same brand.
Yes.
We feel
then you know for sure what you're getting. Yes.
So that's the right drug. And also it's the right dose.
Yes.
Yeah, because they usually write it there in detail.
Yes.
And sometimes...
And you take the dose that you're told. Don't be tempted to take a couple because you've forgotten. I remember a program that, I'm not quite sure what it was, so I think, you know, the professor was talking to someone and apparently he had taken, because he'd forgotten, he took all his medication in one, you know, like the morning, lunch and dinner in one go, which is dangerous.
And it's quite easy to do when you're at a certain age.
Yes.
You know, over 70s, and if you've got underlying conditions, which sort of makes you, you know, and especially if you're taking so many medications, it can be mind, you know, boggling sort of thing.
Well, you know what I have, Lu'isa, is one of those little medicines with Monday to Friday, morning and dinner. So I remember, because sometimes I say, did I take my medicine? And then I look at my little container and know that I haven't. Because sometimes I'm so sure I've done it and I haven't. It's just my mind.
And it happens very frequently.
Yes. Or too frequently, Lu'isa.
And also it's about the right time too. Because they do make sure that if you have like twice a day. Make
Yeah.
sure it's the right time,
Yeah.
because that helps with your drugs when, with the action, because a lot of them, they last about, like 12 hours, some
Yes.
sort of,
Yes.
they're quite different.
Yes.
Yeah. And it like the right time, like in
Yeah.
the morning,
Always,
in the evening,
eh?
always, yeah.
So that it
helps with that.
Yes.
And like what we were saying, just always check the label before you leave the pharmacy.
Yes.
And I think if you do you use the same pharmacy
We
all
do.
the time? Yeah,
We do, because it's easier for us. They know what we take,
that's right.
and if we run out, they will contact our doctor or
Yeah.
us to say, look, they've run out of scripts. It's so much easier if you've got your local pharmacy.
And especially like with the COVID-19,
Yes, that's so true.
and you can
That's so
just
true.
easily ring up and say, and then they just sort of send it over to the
Yes.
pharmacy.
Yeah,
And then
they'll deliver our
that's
stuff.
right,
you know,
yeah.
So
Ah,
yes.
well, haven't got that far yet.
You've
got
see us
you've
get
got a
delivered,
good-
so I jumped on the wagon
No, because
too.
you're a good area here.
Yes,
No, they're pretty good.
we're
Your
just-
pharmacy,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, they are. They're
Very
good people.
reliable, and they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Yes, 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 and they know us.
But that's it. Yeah.
So it's nice when you walk into a pharmacy and the chemist or pharmacist will come and say, "Oh, how is Joshua?" Because they call him Joshua.
Yeah.
I say, "Good, good, good." And now it's nice to have that connection.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. Because you use the same one, and I know the one you've got here.
Yes.
So they're always well known
Oh,
for being
yes.
so responsible. And I think the staff are well
They
trained.
are. They are.
Yeah,
True.
they know their work.
Yes. Yes. That's right. Lu'isa.
Yeah. And also like I was thinking about talking about that, Sandy. Because even with, I think you have to be on your toes all the time. Even with your GP or your family doctor, sometimes you wonder would they remember that you are on these other medications as well.
Yes.
Yes. And you get to a certain age. I've been thinking, I need to go and see those gerontologists people.
And what do those people do, Lu'isa?
They go through your medications, you get to a certain age and you have
Yes.
the privilege
Of having them.
of having that service.
So they check through your medications to see if they're still,
Yes,
okay for you to take.
that's right. And especially you get to a certain age, and then the drugs sort of have a different sort of actions.
Yes. Well, you're right.
Yeah, and sometimes
You're
they
right.
linger longer
Yes.
in your body before you get rid of them.
Yes.
Yeah, and other times, so it's all different. Yeah.
It is, and because I remember there was something that was prescribed, and the chemist, the pharmacist says, "Lucy, I'll just check with your doctor again because of all the other stuff that you're on to see if she's, she was mindful of that before she." And she did. She said, "Oh, it's okay for you to take this. It was only for a short
That's
period
right.
of time."
Yeah.
So it's good that
It's that good partnership,
Yes.
and it's a whole team.
it is.
All
It
sort of,
is. And you have to be part of that team too.
Exactly.
And
And you have
ask
to be on
questions.
top of them all the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Because, like I mentioned it when we'll come to our special medication that we love. But I think it's always important, Luciana, I've just got a few points, like it's always important to make sure that you know why you're taking that medications.
Absolutely.
And it's always, you always say to the doctor, so what does this do to my body? Yeah. And then he explains, and they're pretty good, especially they know their stuff.
Yes. Because sometimes we don't feel like we should question our doctor, but I think it's a really good thing to do. It's a really proactive thing to do to say, like, "Lucy, you've got to take this," and I say, what, are there any side effects?
Yeah,
At my age, does it do anything?
That's right.
Just to know, I think it's good to be informed.
Because you have to know why you're taking it. A lot of people just take it and they listen religiously
Yes.
to their doctor, whereas I think you have a right to know why you're taking those medications, how to take it and how to store it.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
right.
very good point.
Yes. And what to do if you have any unexpected or serious sort of side effects by discussing this with your doctor.
Yes, what to do, you know. That is so important, Lu'isa. Because sometimes, you know, I've heard people say, oh, I took it and it made me feel a bit sick. Did you talk to your doctor again? Oh, I was just hoping it'll go away. No, you need to check.
Yeah, we have to be on top of that.
And that storing thing is important.
But some of them you have to put in the fridge. But then it has to be a certain temperature. Yeah, for you to put it in there. Yeah.
Yes. Because even with, you know, I've got a little, you know, those little cooler things?
Oh,
lunchbox? Well, I just got one and I put mine in there because you know how sometimes in the winter you have the heater on, then it gets a bit warm in the summer. Yeah. So just to keep it at the right temperature, I think.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yes.
And also it's about safety because we both got grandchildren.
Right, we do.
Yeah. And it's out of the way. We have to store it quite safely somewhere where they don't go and think that they're little lollies or something like that.
Because the medication, you know, and they make the vitamins, and a lot of the medication look a bit like
lollies.
Yes. So, you know, to stop anything terrible happening, I think that's such an important. Safety is so important.
Yeah. Out of the way, the safety. Yeah. And even like, you know, we let them take their vitamins and they're like lollies.
Yes.
I've got one of mine. I'll see her going for another one. Then she'll go for another one. Because I said, aren't they supposed to be like, she said, oh yes, but I like the taste of it.
Because I put their vitamins way on top and they only allowed.
Well, that's it. You know, it's about storing it where it's really safe.
And the thing is, they do make them to be like, I'm sure they taste like lollies. Because they look like gummies and they call them gummies, you know. And I say, yeah, there might be gummies, but you're only allowed to have one of those and one of those. But that's,
at least they're lucky they're not on any other medications.
Yes.
If we keep sucking on those gummies and then we're taking Metformin or something like that, that's going to be a little bit of I had a bag of Minties at home. And my granddaughter said, are you supposed to be taking those? I said, sometimes, is my excuse, if I feel a little bit low or something, I need that.
I know. And I'm not a minty person, but I like, as you know, I like those things I shouldn't have, chocolates. So I have these bullets, little chocolate bullets, that I'm supposed to have one if I feel a bit. But sometimes I forget, you know. No, I'm stop telling untruth, Lucy. I don't forget, I just pretend that I've not put 5 in my mouth.
Do you sort of think it's, you know, like the kid is like, do I need to get a little present for that so that you give yourself a little,
but what
a little tick.
That's right. You know, I do stuff like that. It's not good. Note to me, stop that.
And also, like what we were saying, it's about making sure that the doctors just don't prescribe it and not say, so what are the possible side effects, you know, and it's like...
Because we know that every drug we take or ingest has some sort of side effect because it's a drug. You know, it's chemicals, so it must have some, you know, because if you're putting, you know, it's like putting something that's not, you know,
it's a foreign
leaves or vegetable fruit. It is a foreign object, you know, so it's going to have some, you know, some sort of maybe minor or after a few years. So
but that's it. Especially if you're on a certain medication for a lengthy period of time.
Yes.
You know, and it's about just making sure, just checking. But then, of course, that's part and parcel of our regular visits to our family doctors
and your specialist.
And do our blood tests.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because some of my medication affects different parts of my body, like my eyesight. So I have to have eye checks. Proper eye checks every year to make sure that the medication, see, that's a medication that I need to have.
That's right.
But it can also cause something else, to happen. So my specialist keeps an eye on what, possible damage that's doing, that is why it's important. That's why it's a really good point that Lu'isa has brought up for us to bear in mind. Just because it's medication doesn't mean that it's
always useful. There's always a chance that there's every medication will have a little side effect.
Yes,
whether it's a serious one, but then over the years,
yes,
and plus, they say that when you do talk to your doctor, make sure you mention to him that I'm taking this complementary medicine,
yes,
or you're taking any supplement. Because
yes,
you know how we women think that I think I need those, vitamins just to pep me up for this. Those sort of things, but you really have to tell him everything, because some of those complementary
they might work against.
Yes, that's right.
Because I know with, every time we go through my medication, because they have to, I have to tell them all the, what vitamins I'm taking.
What you buy off the counter.
Yes, so they can have a look to see which vitamin D, how much, even how much you're taking. It's really important, that stuff. So, because each vitamin will do a certain thing, might impact on whatever drug you're taking.
That you're taking at present.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So you really have to be careful. We can't really, and we teach our children that, when they take any medication, always make sure you ask the doctor why you're getting that. Make sure, it's the same thing that we go through.
Yes.
So it's always good that, and you can tell that it's good because your kids then teach their own children.
Yes, absolutely.
And they don't always and when they go to the pharmacist, they always make sure that they get the information. And a good thing about these pharmacists, Luciana, I know yours would do that, is that they always give you did you want to get a little printout?
Yes.
All the information that you get, which is really good.
Because I remember, I think it was about 3 years ago, our pharmacy, they were running a DNA test to see if your DNA matched your medication.
Oh,
it was really good. Yes, it was great. It was a good thing to do, because, sometimes your DNA or your blood or whatever might say, you give it some sort of medication, you might say, oh no, and you wonder why you're sick. But when I saw that, I said to her, so he said, this would be a very good thing for you, and for your job.
Yeah.
But it's if you can do that sort of stuff, like Lu'isa's talking about, I forgot the name of that word that you talked about, who looks at your medication, that person that you were saying before that can look at your medication and see if it's...
Oh, the gerontologist,
that
sort of...
That word.
And that's for my age group. Because like what we were saying, the drugs can act differently, in that age group. Because like our favourite thing, the Metformin, they do, one of the readings that I went through, that you're over 80, a certain age, and then it mightn't be the right medication for them.
Of course.
Yeah. Only for us young ones.
It makes sense.
Yeah. What's
it?
that thing up there, Professor?
I have no idea. We don't know what's going on, but
trying to block us off.
I'm hoping that we're still online. I think we're still online. But sometimes, it's just sometimes things happen online. That's why we try and make sure that everything's ready and working. But I was just thinking too, Lu'isa, how you said certain age? Because I know that when I remember the first time I was diagnosed with lupus, I had a very different group of medication. And then when I got to 60, they had another look and they changed some of it. And I'm sure that when I get to 70, they will again do another assessment. Eh?
That's right.
Because as you said, it's a different age group.
It's a specialised area of medicine.
Yes, makes sense.
And sometimes they forget, like RGP, they don't look at your birthday and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're looking well that day, they might
say, oh, she's all right. Which is why as Lu'isa said, you need to know more about yourself and about your body, how you feel. If you're, feeling a bit different, maybe they need to look at your medication because maybe they need to change some things.
That's right, exactly.
Just take notice of however different things, because sometimes I know there was a medication I was given, I was prescribed, and the first time, Lu'isa, I took it, I felt nauseous, I felt dizzy, I had to lay down, I felt like I wanted to, vomit. And and I kept thinking, no, I'm sure it's only the beginning. I took it for nearly a week, and I went back and I said, I don't think I could take this. And they changed it straight away, which is what they do.
That's good, yeah.
Because if I kept persisting and thinking, oh no, I have to keep taking it, something else could have happened to me,
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
yeah, you have to be.
yes.
It's like what you were saying before, Luciana. You have to know your body,
Yes.
your normal body.
Absolutely.
Because it's the same thing, like you have to know what's the normal blood pressure for you, all those things, because they're all different.
So true, so true. I remember I was getting these funny little palpitations. So I was told then to take my blood pressure in the morning. Every time I felt something, take my blood pressure. Also my blood sugar levels.
Yes.
So I did that, and I thought to myself, because she said, so what's your normal? And I thought, I don't know. And I said, isn't it in your, she said, Lucy, I think you need to know. See, one knows my blood pressure levels, because they're, that's a bit higher, that's a bit low. So I had to know, but I have to.
Yeah. I think for your safety, if you're in hospital or in a medical area and a health thing, because I know with my, other half, like, the doctor will be checking his blood pressure, and he says, a little bit high, and I said, what is it? Then I said, oh no, that's his normal.
Yes.
Yeah, because, we know we all have that.
See, you always keep track of this. Latukefu is very lucky.
Well, look, you draw a line somewhere, isn't it? It's sometimes you think, am I getting paranoid about this? But then you think, well, nobody else is going to look out for me.
Well, I think, Lu'isa, there's nothing wrong with being slightly paranoid about yourself.
Yeah.
Because at least you question, and at least people will, your GP will think, oh, I better check, your whatever, and look at how long have you, because sometimes you'll say to me, how long have you been taking that? And I'll say, I've been taking that since 2006. Okay, well, and I'll do a blood test, because, that's what they'll do. They will get a blood test done to see if that's still doing its job.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, then,
Sometimes, like say, when you get a little bit paranoid, they say, well, should I be having a blood test? Say, you've just had your things, not even 6 months.
Yes.
And I say, well, a lot can happen in a few months.
No, I really, I do. I believe that too, Lu'isa, because as you said, I think when you get to a certain age group, things change quickly.
That's right.
It can change quickly from month to month or whatever, day to day. But I'm always a bit, I remember saying to someone, I never actually worried about, my age or how long I'm going to live. All of a sudden I'm thinking, oh, am I going to wake up tomorrow?
I don't know, it depends on the other half, like.
But I think it's good to err on the side of being over careful and, just to check and, if your medication just doesn't feel like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, or you're waking up in the morning and you're feeling a little bit different, just check, go and see your doctor and have a bit of a checkup.
And then you feel better.
You do. And then you come back, because, you come back, and I remember my knee being sore, and I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on, something terrible. So I had the x-ray, and my doctor said, absolutely nothing wrong with your knee. It's just age and, and maybe, osteo or something.
Tick that off. There's another one to worry about.
Yeah, at least I thought, at least I'm not lying awake at night thinking, oh, what is going on with that?
Sometimes you tend to think of the worst, and it's just...
Of course, Lu'isa, I think especially women, we tend to go to right or the other side of the spectrum, and you're just about dying, or your end of days is coming. But question and never stop asking questions.
And that's why it's good to have a family doctor or family GP that sort of listen. That is really important, because a lot of times you sort of being in that health area, like sometimes they start telling you the symptoms.
Yes.
And how they're feeling, and you quickly jump, you've got
this.
Yeah, so it's nice to have one that relationship with your and know the family as well. So
that's why I love my GP, Lu'isa. Because when she'll always say, how are the grandchildren? And we talk about grandkids first, and then we get on to the hard stuff like health and,
Because it's all part of our holistic self, isn't it?
Yes.
Because if
when she starts talking about weight, then I'm thinking, don't go there.
Why do you ask?
Don't go there. And I'm thinking, do not tell me to get on the scales.
So it's about You tell your doctor, or like what we were saying, all the medications and everything else that you're taking.
Yes.
And also, they do say, make sure that, especially with herbal medicine, like just because you think it's natural and it doesn't, but it's like what you were saying before, could interact, with your...
a lot of herbal stuff I cannot take, Lu'isa. It goes right against my whatever. Because I've been sick taking some of the herbal stuff.
Yeah.
So just because it's herbal doesn't mean that your body will ingest it happily. No. Sometimes your body will just react. Lots of herbal stuff's good, but there's some you need to always check with your doctor.
You get overdue.
Yes.
Sometimes it's sort of...
Check all the time.
And also the most important thing about a lot of the patients or clients, it's like, when your medications expire, and make sure that you get rid of it, because you're likely to sort of take, and most of the pharmacists will take them.
They will. They'll dispose of it.
Yeah, take and get rid of it.
Yeah, because I remember coming out of hospital, and I had medication that I hadn't used, and I just gave it to the pharmacy,
Well, that's it.
Because I said, I'm not taking this anymore. She said, well, just give it to us, we'll...
Yeah. And what we were saying before, some of the medications are like if you got blood thinners and stuff, that you have to stay clear of those grapefruit. Yeah, it's grapefruit.
Is it grapefruit?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's a blood thinner anyway, natural.
Yeah. So they say you have to stay, there's certain medications that you have to be careful about.
Yes.
About those
Which is, I guess, when you said about herbal, is just like food. There are certain things you can't have together with certain medicines.
Yes. That's it. And also, like, just check with your lifestyle.
Yes.
Like how much exercise is, and it's about your diet, like what we were saying, your diet. And like
you sounding like my doctor there, Lu'isa.
And like you're saying, that you have a habit of forgetting whether you've taken it or something.
Yes.
And even though sometimes I think it's better for me not to take it and overdose myself and just miss out that one. But
that's why I have to have that little thing that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
That's a dosage box. Remember that they work it out for you with your pharmacist.
I like that.
So that's pretty good.
Yes, because I do my meds every weekend.
Yeah.
Because Lu'isa, honestly, I do forget. I'm sitting there thinking, did I take my Metformin?
But that's it. Yeah. But that's the and they'll do it for you if it's too much trouble, if you feel safer.
Yeah, true.
And also, Luciana, that just reminding everybody that, don't stop taking your prescribed medications without informing your doctor.
Do not. Yes. There are certain meds that it's dangerous for you to just stop.
Yeah. I've come across some people, not in Australia, but overseas. I remember this time that I was back home and there was a few deaths, and then I asked one of the medical officers, I said, what's happening? Because they keep saying about and it's about medications They run out, and so it's good for our kids to remind us, that when you run out, Mom, you have to, to get get a new script or something. So that's really
sad.
And other people also sharing medications.
Do not do that.
No, that's
Not
a
allowed to do
no.
that.
Yeah.
Because I know. You hear people saying, just just pass me one of your things, it'll be all right. No, it might not suit that person, and you do not want to be responsible for someone being absolutely sick or ill.
Yes. But I think when they get to a certain age, sometimes if we have to pay for, medications, it depends on which area of the world you're in. That you just let it go, but that's really a little bit risky. So that's one of the
very
risks.
risky. Very risky. Don't do it, please.
And of course, all medications have got the potential to have their own risk. And like you said, that's why it's so important that we have to have a good relationship.
Get onto your Metformin because we've been told to. The time is running a bit fast today. I don't know whether that's the right time because it feels like we've just started.
Yeah. Metformin is our favourite topic, I think. We always sort of talk about that.
Yes. And I don't know if you are on, if you're watching, if you're on this product. Lu'isa will tell you what Metformin is. I take it for diabetes. So I've been on it for a couple of years now. Take it once a day. But Lu'isa's got some bit of information here about Metformin. So it's basically used for diabetes, and
I think it's the first-hand, the most popular medications that they give for pre-diabetic.
Pre-diabetic,
yes. As well as type 2.
Yes.
Diabetic, yes. It's no good for
So you and I are the pre-diabetics.
Yes,
so,
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we take that.
Yeah.
But so